Hello. So our marvellous Mary is Mary MacArthur, a trade unionist from back in the early 1900s. I'm Jenny.
I'm Lucy.
And we're from Friends of the Women Chainmakers, and we're going to do a really brief history of Mary MacArthur and the Women Chainmakers. Mary was asked by her dad to attend a union meeting back in the day, and he was a bit of he wanted some details about his staff, and I think he was hoping she was be a bit of a spy. Anyway, she turned up at the meeting, was completely inspired by what she heard, and actually became a trade unionist, so that backfired on her dad a wee bit.
So from that, it lit some kind of fire in her, and she wanted to strive to help working people.
Anyway, yeah, so the sweated industries, lots of industries that are identified as being dangerous, and she decided to champion the women chainmakers. She realised that they were very strong, the imagery was very strong, yes. Women working in chain shops and working with fire and metal and hot stuff. Yeah. And she decided to champion their cause, and their cause being that they weren't being paid enough, so they were being paid a very, very small amount of money, and that other people were having their fingers in that money first. They were middlemen delivering metal, collecting the metal and controlling the women's financial security. There was an association put together to improve the situation for these women. It took many, many years to get to that point, and then they finally, after many months of negotiations, once Mary became involved, they agreed on a fair wage. The employers started getting women to agree not to have the fair wage, and they started stockpiling chains so that when the fair wage deadline came in, which was in October, they didn't have to do it. Mary MacArthur got wind of this and organised the women into a union, and they went out on strike, held rallies, went to London, raised loads of money to support the strike fund, and slowly the employers started realising that they actually weren't going to win this.
And it was following 10 weeks of strike action. They rallied, and they got so much support from the rest of the country and even into Europe and around the world, and it was just an incredible feat led by Mary MacArthur, who was just an incredible woman. She was known as the angel of the workers, and I think that was for anyone that she touched, anyone that she worked with.
She stood for Parliament in 1919, but she wasn't allowed to stand under a maiden name, Mary MacArthur. It was under a married name, so she wasn't Mary Anderson. So she wasn't known under that name. Anyway, she didn't get elected. A bit of a shame. What wonders she could have done.
Yes, but she was the best of the time, wasn't she? Yeah. So she put all of her time and effort into working with people on the ground, raising them up out of these awful conditions, and she managed to achieve the first ever minimum wage. Some of them got 150% increase in their wages. They had their days shortened, their working days shortened. They were able to socialise, mix, go and learn things, learn to read and write. And after that, conditions were set and better for women in the chain industry, and then out amongst the sweated industries, they all started to follow along. So we started to get standards, and we started to get fair pay.
So our marvellous Mary sadly died very young. She was 41, and she died of cancer. She left a little girl behind. So that is the very part history of Mary MacArthur and the Women Chainmakers. We have a festival every year. Look us up. This is a book that we are very proud of, and there's an education back as well.
There's a picture of Mary on that.
Do some Googling. There's Mary.
One picture of Mary. There's a dedicated website. There's some really good stuff out there. So thank you for listening. Mary MacArthur. Yeah.